I'm ready for you, King King.
Are you ready?
Oh, yes. You wanted to charge your phone, right?
Oh, yeah.
And welcome back to In Focus. My guest this morning, Jay Morrison, wealth educator, real estate developer. The first half of our interview, Jay told us where he came from, the bottom. And now it's the transition. You realized you didn't want to look at 30 and be dead, and you wanted to change your life or in jail. Yeah. And you've been in and out of jail. You couldn't afford it. 3 strikes, baby.
I already had 3. I was on my 4th.
Man. And so now you got out the game. What are the steps from there, Jay?
So I got out of the game and went into real estate. And what that looked like for me was, at the time they were offering 100% financing on houses. So I went and bought my first 2-family house. Right?
Okay.
And then even the money that I had wasn't so much drug money, but it was from a deal I did with my mother where her house was in foreclosure, but it had value in it, and we sold that property and we split that money, right? And so I took that, I'm in the game, and I blew through all my, because I still had a certain lifestyle I was used to, and didn't understand the money's not coming in as fast or at all anymore, right? I thought that real estate would hit off immediately, I had all this swagger and confidence, and it didn't. I didn't close a deal for my first 6 months. I closed like 1 deal. And then so I ran through all my money, literally was borrowing money from my mom, from friends. I was staying in one half of my 2-family house out in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, like way out in the boonies by Pennsylvania, like where nobody wants to live, but it was cheap. And so I was living there, driving to work every morning, 45 minutes. But 2 things happened. One is, as I closed on my first couple properties, I saw the commissions the realtors made. And so I myself got my real estate license and became a realtor. And actually, on the day that I passed my test, just to have that license, that certificate, that license that I actually accomplished something, 'cause I never went to college, right? I barely made it out of high school. I cried that day. Game had that song out with 50 Cent at the end where he said something about, what if Maria Baker, or whatever his mom's name, would have got that abortion? I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had that same situation. With my mom, before she had me, my grandfather was making her get an abortion. My mom was literally on the abortion table in the clinic, on the table, and just got up and walked away. And so at that moment, I broke down and sobbed and cried. And just because I felt like I actually accomplished something in life. Just a real estate, like I ain't closed no deals, nothing.
Right.
But just me coming out of the ghetto and out of the streets and out of prison and poverty and now having a real estate license, it meant so much to me, right? Which is why I'm so passionate about real estate education and wealth education today. So anyway, that's one thing. 2 is that I had no corporate etiquette. I never had an email. I'm like, what do I do with this? And mind you, I had an email for Keller Williams, in which I worked with as my first real estate company, Liberty State Finance, which was the finance company I was doing mortgages. I was still a loan officer. I went back to real estate as a loan officer. So I was doing loans. Then I got my real estate license, so I was now a licensed realtor, and I was an investor. So I had my own personal emails. And I had 3 emails, but I had no idea to do any of them, right? But I'm learning corporate etiquette, culture, how to dress, how to speak properly. I'm stealing words. That's what I always encourage all my students and proteges to do. Hey, it's not the street. See, in the streets, when you copy off somebody, you're corny for biting. But in business, you got the green light to copy whatever. Right. So I show people, use a tie clip, use collar weights. Like, this is how you got to dress, speak, move. If you see me, those little verbiage and phrases that business people use, right? Steal those things, right? You might see the white guy in your office say something, steal that, use it, and it makes you more, you can fake the funk at least in corporate culture, like you know what you're talking about.
Right.
So I really went through this process of regrooming myself, rebranding myself, and because I had the real estate licenses and the mortgage license and was investing, and that was my passion, I started a brand, Mr. Real Estate, back in 2005, 2006. And so anyway, I got down to the wire. I was tired of borrowing money from people. I was living like, I hadn't been poor for like 10 years.
Right.
So now I'm back to, feeling poor. And I was ready to go back to the streets. And the month that I was actually going to go back, I really was like calling my boy. I was like, all right, what's prices right now? How much rent's going for?
So it's always ends up, it's almost like the business, the money is the addiction. It's a way to get back. You're good at it. It's always there. And like if most business people don't have that option, if you've never done it, it's almost that loan you can always get.
Right.
And that's why it's always in the back of your mind, especially when you're an entrepreneur, because there's going to be valleys and peaks.
I know I can get 28 grams, bust it down to to 100 a gram, and go make 2,800 off of 800.
So when we see this happen from athletes to famous people to whatever, it's not shocking to you because you know exactly what they're going through.
I know exactly.
It's shocking to us because we go, why would you blah 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 blah? But it's almost the equivalent to a business person who doesn't have any options, but there's always an option.
Right.
So that's what it is. It's always like
it's culture and it's option, and you're willing to take those risks, which actually makes me so successful today, and why I've been so successful is because my risk tolerance is high as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like my tolerance for risk, as opposed to the average real estate developer or business person, is like people get scared about messing up their credit or $1,000 or whatever. I'm like, man, I almost went to jail for life. Like, I ain't nothing. So people are like, how do you deal with so many businesses and so much adversity? It's like, this is lightweight to me. Like,
is that what Jay's going through with title?
Right. You know what I'm saying? This is lightweight. So anyway, one thing I did bring to the table was my work ethic though. So I was used to getting up early in the morning. I was used to staying up all night. So where the average real estate agent or more loan officer would, 9 to 5, my phone's off at 5, I'm done, I'm with the family. Me, I tell my clients, call me 24/7 anytime. Mm-hmm. And so I'm up 6:30 answering the phone, I'm just grinding. And so the month that I was gonna quit, I closed 7 deals and made $13,000. And then the next month, it's like you build a pipeline. And in real estate, it doesn't happen overnight. You gotta understand, when you get into the real estate industry as an investor, developer, whatever, new investor, loan officer, realtor, that your checks are gonna be 90 days away. Mm. So that's hard for some people, right? But when they came. So I made $13,000. Then I made $30,000 the next month, and I'm like, oh snap, we on. Legally, I just made $43,000 in the last 2 months. Mm. And then another checks came. Then I started closing foreclosure deals. Closed a big foreclosure deal, made $93,000. And next thing I look up, I got $112,000 in the bank legally. Mm. I see y'all got over 100 in the bank, and they can't touch it.
How did Mom feel about this news?
Oh man, everybody was, my whole family was praising them. We was shouting. It was like, this is me. And so many people off my block in my corner. When I first got into real estate, I had a hoopty, right? My vehicle. I had a '93 Mercury Grand Marquis with a rag top, on it. And here in New York, taking my daughter to a baby modeling lesson, a truck swiped my driver's side door handle off. So my car had no door handle. While I was selling dope in Newark, we had a big dope line, and the dope was in my glove compartment. And the glove compartment wouldn't open. And we got a big line of fiends out, outside. So I had to break the glove compartment open so we don't get popped. And so now, this is the vehicle I went into real estate with. Had no driver's side door handle, and had a shoestring holding my glove compartment together. So I'm parking around the corner when I'm meeting clients. And so nobody believed me when I said I'm into real estate. And they believed I was into it, but nobody believed that I would be successful or I had success because I had a hoopty, I had a G-Rod, right? So then after I closed my first deals at $30,000, $13,000, I got a 2003 Camry in 2006. Like a little cloth seat Camry, cool, respectable.
Right.
And then I closed some big deals about 4 or 5 months later, and I went and got a 06 Range in 06. Cream guts, black trim, and everybody, yo, Jay, what's up with that real estate? Yo, how can I get down? Yo, what's up?
You made the transition.
I made the transition.
The block was hot again.